Welcome to North Sun Tabletop Games, and today we're going to be checking out Christopher Muller's Burning Banners Rage of the Witch Queen by Compass Games. This is a war game where different kingdoms fight for supremacy. We're going to be trying the advanced rules, and we're just going to check out the introductory campaign. All right, so with that being said, let's get set up and jump right in. All right, so the intro campaign is going to be featuring two factions. Fjordland, which is like Vikings, versus the Oathborn, which are dwarves. We have their setup here. It's called the Invasion of Drefeld, year 565. The Jarl of the Eastern Marches felt that Drefeld should be settled by humans. Olgur's Thunderer, the dwarven king of Drefeld, objected. All right, so postures. Fort Garad is hostile to both players. We'll check that out on the map in a second. This red indicator means that you only use this if it's the advanced rules. We are going to use the advanced rules, which will have spells and monsters in the playthrough. So we're going to get two runes, 2 arcane studies, and 1 churn symbol. So those mean different things. We can talk about that when we pull it. We're going to be using the Wildlands map. That's a little section of the map that we have up there. And then you have your setup instructions here. So the Oathborn start with 2 gold. They can use 6 gold to build resources, control markers, and they have Shaded Veil. And the second setup is Fjordland. Starting income 4, opening builds 15 gold, control markers 2, Norstead, and Fartun. But we are actually going to use the quick setup rules, so I'll show you these cards here in a second. But just to flesh out the rest of the scenario, so the scenario special rules. The only settlements that may be attacked or occupied during the game are Fort Garad, which is neutral. Oathborn control Zarenbar and Shaded Veil, and Fjordland control Barless on the Lake, Norstead, and Fartun. So even though we have a big map with a lot of locations, there's only 6 locations that can be attacked. At the end of the autumn season, the player who controls the most settlements wins. In the case of a tie, the Oathborn wins. So the dwarves are going to be defending. There's only 6 settlements, so Fort Garad is over here. Shaded Veil. Barless on the Lake is over here. We've got Zarenbar right here. Norstead and Fartun. So Fartun and then Norstead to the northwest. Those are the only settlements in play. Victory conditions. At the end of the autumn season, the player who controls the most settlements wins. In the case of a tie, the Oathborn player wins. So at the end of the autumn, so every player goes, every turn is a season. So we're going to take our 3 arcane study markers. We're going to shuffle these up. The Oathborn will start. We'll put 1 here for them and another arcane study here. And at the end of each turn, we look at these, and that tells us how strong the magic is in the land. We've got our magical spell cards, Blessing and Treasures. Those are slightly off screen down below. That's just a display mat that they're on. We'll talk about those, but we're just doing year 1. So we're going to start in spring. And then when both teams go, it'll move to summer and then autumn. And then whoever has the most control of those 6 settlements will win the invasion of Drefeld. All right, and then we have the starting income markers here. Oathborn starting with 2. Fjordland starting with 4. Then we'll go back to their dashboard. Talk about that a little bit. So each faction has their own armies. Oathborn are the dwarves. The cost is in this little gold symbol. So they have miners, cost 1. King's Crossbow 3. Iron Legions 4. Dragon Slayers 5. Oath Takers 5. and the Storm Giant for 7. They also have a Siege Engine for 3. And heroes cost 3 each for the Oathborn. And then they have a special city. Fjordland, the same. Cost is up here, movement is in the corner, and the dice they roll to attack. You have white dice for light attacks, black dice for heavy attacks. You always hit on a 5 or higher, and 7 or 8s are critical hits on the heavy hit dice. And if you roll a critical, you get to roll another white dice. And if you get a 5 or a 6, you confirm it and it does an extra damage. All right. So freeholders cost 2 gold, Sea Reavers cost 3, Rangers cost 4, Valkyries cost 5, and they have a special flight ability. Rangers have a special ranged ability. That means if there's a tie when there's an attacking, they'll win ties. Berserkers cost 6. Draken cost 7. They have stealth, ranged, and flight. Stealth means you can ambush, so you can attack first without the other unit being able to strike back. And then they have some special rules. So the Oathborn have miners. They can perform mine actions, which lets them get 1 gold. And the dwarves can move through mountains at a cost of 1. So terrain has different costs to move through in this game, like forests or mountains, it costs 2 to go through. But the dwarves can move through mountains at a cost of 1. For Fjordland, Rangers gain 1 white die when occupying or attacking into a forest hex. And they don't have any penalties for moving in force. And Fjordlands can do ship movement. It's a free action for Fjordland units. They can increase their ship movement rating by 2. So if they're in water, on a water hex, they can move around the water for free instead of it costing an action. Move along the coast. All right, so let's check out the setup. Let's start with the Oathborn. They set up first. So whether you're doing basic or advanced, the setup is still the same. The only difference is in advanced, we're going to get 3 spells and a blessing. So you just check out this card. Armies, control, and markers. You can ignore this setup. It's going to take this all into account and tell us what to place and where. So Shaded Veil, we're going to do a miner and a control marker. Bar, we're going to do an Iron Legion. Let's do that. So Shaded Veil, a miner, and a control marker. So Shaded Veil will go here. And then we will see that we are in control of that there. And then Bar and Iron Legion. And it already has that it's under our control, so we don't need a marker for that one. Then it says gold and income. Place 1 gold in the marker section of the Oathborn playmat. So we have gold here. They're different colors, but they all represent gold. 1, 5, and 10, going from smallest to largest. We're going to put this 1 gold in the marker area to show that they have 1 gold. Place the Oathborn banner in the first space of the turn track. So that is back to the season setup, which we did. So you'd place your Oathborn banner here in the first space. And then lastly, place the income marker in the 2 space of the income track. And that's what we did right there. That would be the quick setup. So there's cards for each mission that do this. Quick setup card. Campaign 1 through 6. So you can see it says Invasion of Drefeld, so we know we're looking at the right one. And then we do the same thing for Fjordland. So Far Tuned, a Sea Reaver, and a control marker. So we'll grab a Sea Reaver and a control marker. And we'll get these guys out here on Far Tuned. Then Norstead, we've got a freeholder and a control marker. So freeholder and a control marker for Norstead. We'll get those guys out there. Control marker. And then we've got Barleth on the Lake, a Sea Reaver. So we'll go ahead and get down to Barless on the lake. Grab our Sea Reaver. And again, you can see it already has the control on the map, so you don't need an extra marker for that. And then we're in the gold and income section. Place 1 gold in the marker section of the Fjordland placemat. So they also will have 1 gold. Place the Fjordland banner in the second space of the turn track. So again, since we know that they're going to go second, we place their marker here to represent that. And then lastly, place the Fjordland income marker on the 4 space of the income track. So we go to 4, we place that there, and we're all set up. Almost. Now, if that was basic rules, we'd be all set up. But for advanced rules, we have to get our spells and our treasures. So we take the spell deck, and both armies use the same spell deck. You can have 3 spell cards each, so we'll shuffle these out. They both get 3 spells each. Let's see what the Oathborn got. We'll go into detail. They got Ritual of Vigilance. If not in the settlement hex, caster stack becomes ready. Unerring Darts. Each success rolled by the caster stack scores a critical hit. And Ritual of Power. Battle magic. Arm stacked with caster doubles the dice in his combat rating. And this symbol means you need that kind of character to play that card. So we don't have any magic characters right now. But that's why we'll have to buy a hero. Hopefully they have a magic indicator so we can use these cards. Those are for the Oathborn. Fjordland got, oh, and this symbol means it's a cantrip. So you can use cantrips at any time. But battle magic cards, like this one that the Oathborn had, you can only use that at the start of a fight. All right, so they got Hawkeye. Strike. Strike is like an attack, except only you attack. You can always only do 1 damage unless you roll a critical. If you roll a critical and you confirm it, you can do 2 damage from a strike. They have Hawkeye. They've got Sigil of Courage. The caster is stacked with a fragile or weakened army. They can ignore 1 hit. And Ray of Weakness. Play when target stack monsters or garrison rolls 1 or more successes during combat or a strike. Change 1 success to a failure. And this needs a ranged unit. So if we had rangers on the field within 1 of an enemy, we could use this card. This one requires a magic units. We don't have any magic units default, so we would need a hero. All right. Next part of setup is each faction gets 1 blessing. So you can have 3 magic spells, 1 blessing, and up to 2 treasures. So Fjordland's blessing is going to be Ida's Favor, Battle Magic. Discard a spell. Fjordland army gains 1 white dice plus an additional 2 dice if it occupies a wilderness hex. So basically, if we're in the forest, we can call on Gita to help us. And then the blessings for Oathborn. And blessings can also be magic, but they're different from having spell. Mountain Folk. Oathborn army gains 2 white dice and +2 movement rating. This is a cantrip. I can play this at any time to give an army 2 white dice and +2 movement. All right, now treasures you only get when you are fighting against monsters in lairs. And we'll see if we have any monsters come out. But that's when you would get a treasure, and then you can have up to 2 of those. On the map here, there's lairs here. So you could send your armies into the lairs to explore. And you pull an unknown monster from the token box and fight it. And if you don't win, then the other army gets to control that monster. So it is a risk, but you can get gold and magical items from that. So we've got the Risen Keep. That's a monster's location. There's the Sunken Temple out here in the ocean. And then we have the ancient necropolis, and the city of the dead is up here. Okay, and with that, I think we can take our first turn. Now, when you start your armies, you can start them in the city or in an adjacent space. So even though I placed this guy in the city, let's have him start one place adjacent to it, because in that way the miners can get to the mines to be able to do their thing. Okay, I think we've got everything set up. We're at about 15 minutes. I think let's keep going and do the first season, and then that's where we'll pause. All right, so we are going to start with the Oathborn. And on your turn, you can move and take an action. And actions are attack, mine, explore, recover, different things like that. But it's pretty simple. So let's see. We know that we want to go to the mine. So we're going to activate this miner. They can move 2 spaces, and they're fine to move within the mountain range. So we're going to have them go 1, 2, and get to the endless path. So this is a mining area. I know you can't see it on camera, but the hex has like a slightly darker outline around it. And for their action, they're going to mine. And when they mine, they get 1 gold. So we're going to add 1 gold to our display. We'll have 2 now. That's the miner's turn. We can build at any time. Oh, I'm sorry, I almost messed up. We have to do the income step first. We'll keep that turn, but you start with the income step. So our income is 2. So the Oathborn are also going to get 2 more gold. So 2 more gold plus the 1 from the miner. So now we have a total of 4 gold. And if we had a goblin or other kingdom, we could do other things. But for now, that's what our turn would be. And just to kind of give you an idea of the turn sequence here. So we start with the income phase, and there's the activation phase. We could disband a siege engine. We're not using one right now. We gain gold equal to our income level, which we got the 2. There's other things going on there that we don't have to pay attention to for the intro. And then we'll keep it moving. So back to where we were at. All right, so we've got 4 gold. We know that heroes cost 3. We're going to need a hero to do something. But the question is, do we mount an attack first? No, I think we buy a hero first. So let's spend 3 gold. We've got 1 left. And when you purchase a hero, this stack has been shuffled. We can shuffle it up one more time. So you draw a token, and then you're going to pull the hero card. So heroes cost 3. Let's see who our hero for the Oathborn is going to be. It is Mythmaster. He has the magic symbol. So this is going to create a stack. So in the basic game, you can't stack characters on top of each other. But we're going to place him here with this army of Iron Legion guys. So we got Smithmaster. We're going to get our hero cards. We're going to find the matching hero. That's this Smithmaster Horn. So let's check him out. He writes in iron and stone. He has dwarven defense. Siege Master Horn may be built in a besieged settlement. 3 adjacent hexes must contain enemy armies to besiege a settlement occupied by Horn. Okay, that's good. Right, so he's out. So normally if an enemy is next to your city, it's considered to be besieged. And when it's besieged, you can't build any armies there. But with him, they'd have to have 3 units instead of 1. So that is pretty good. I think since we're on the defense, his movement is 6. These guys, they can only move 2. 1, 2 won't get me there. Won't get me there. We could go 1, 2 and attack these guys. And I think that's what we're going to do. Let's risk it. So we'll move 1, 2, and attack. And when after the unit activates, you turn them to kind of show that they've activated. So we are going to attack this group of Sea Reavers in Barless on the lake. So the dwarves go down to the lake. The Iron Legion mounts an attack. They're going to get 1 white die and 2 black die. And then the defense is going to get 2 white dice and 1 black die. So let's take a look at the combat sequence real quick. We did activation phase. We are here, arcane study phase. Okay, not quite yet. Let's go over here. Combat sequence. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Combat sequence. So when army or stack declares an attack action, it is resolved using the following sequence. First, since we are playing advanced, you'll see it's in red to indicate that. Battle magic. So both players may play magic cards using the following sequence. The attacker may play magic cards. So let's see. So this can include tramp cantrips as well as any battle magic card. So we're the attacker. Now the dwarf has the magic symbol, so he can cast. We could do mountain folk and gain 2 dice. Oh, I should have looked at this. It might have been better to do this to get to that neutral city. Ritual of power. We can double the dice in the combat rating. I think we're going to use this. And we might use unerring darts. So we're going to come out, and Blacksmith Master Horn is going to use his Ritual of Power. And we're going to double the white dice in its combat rating. Oh, it's only the white dice. That's just going to give us 1 extra white die. Do we do that? Yes, let's do it anyways. We're going to cast Ritual of Power. That's going to give us an extra white dice. And then this card is going to be discarded. Because once you use your magic, it goes to the discard pile. And that discard pile is just over here off screen. There's a little board that comes with the game. That's sitting over there. So that is where that goes. So now, if you recall the instructions, it says the defender may play cantrips, okay? So that's when the Fjordlanders will look at their cards and play something. But I know that the Fjordlanders, they don't have a hero right now. They don't have anybody that can cast magic. And the only ranged card is not on the board. So there's no cantrips that they can cast. Now it comes back to me. Do I want to cast a cantrip? So now it says the caster may play cantrips. I know they can't cast anything. It's 4 dice versus 3. I think just to show, we are going to also cast our cantrip. So we're going to cast unerring darts. So each success we get scores a critical hit. That'll go in the discard. All right, let's see what the dwarves got. So we'll roll defense up first. All right, let's see if we can get that to clear up a little bit. All right, so they're going to be defending with 3. They need 5s or higher to defend. This is not a it's not a fortified location. So they rolled no successes. And we need 5s or higher. All right, so we got 2. And both of these will count as criticals because of the unerring darts. So then we'll roll these 2 dice to see if they crit. We need 5s or higher to make them crit. So 1 crit. So we do 3 damage to the army. They don't block any, so they're going to take 3 hits. The first hit, you flip the token. And that shows that it's on its weakened side. And then the second hit will kill it. So this Sea Reaver is destroyed. When you destroy a garrison defending a settlement, you have to move into the settlement. So we will move in here. We will place our control marker on this city. So now it is under our control. When you capture a city, we are going to get looting a settlement will gain us 2 gold. We will gain 2 more gold. Take this to a pile. We have a total of 3. And now we can decide, do we want to purchase anything else? Because we can buy things at any time. Let's see, we could get some miners. Or we could get King's Crossbowmen. I think I'm gonna want to buy some miners. Could buy 3 miners. Place them outside the city and kind of make a wall. Let's do that. So we'll spend 3 gold. Do I want to do that? I definitely want 1 miner for sure, because there's a mine nearby. So let's spend 1 on the first miner. So when you purchase a unit and you place it in the settlement, it comes in ready. If we placed it in an adjacent space, it would come in exhausted and not be able to move, except for when you're doing your initial setup. So we place this miner in Zarenbar. They're going to move 1, 2 and go to this mine, and they're going to use their action to mine, and we'll get another gold coin. So we're back up to 3 coins. And then I think, since that's under our control, I think we're going to spend these 3 coins and build 3 more miners. We're going to spend all our money. We're going to build 3 more miners. Oh, and we're going to place them all around this city, and they will be exhausted because we didn't build them within the city. Now the city automatically gets a white dice garrison even when it's empty. So we just built these 3 in adjacent spaces outside the city. All right, and then let's see, anything else that we are forgetting about for the miners? Since we took that settlement, our income is going to go up from 2 to 3, and theirs is going to go down to 3 because we took 1 from them. So we're out of money. I could do Ritual of Vigilance and make our blacksmith hero refresh, but we're not going to do that. So that is going to be the end of our activation phase. And then that means we go to the Arcane study phase. Let's take a look at that. All right, the Arcane study phase. Players perform Arcane study depending on what kind of Arcane study marker is revealed. Oh, we should start here. Once all buildings and activations are finished, the active player's turn marker is moved to the turn complete box on the turn track. While the active kingdom cities are raised or enemy controlled, the kingdom collapses. If a Shashka kingdom, it collapses if it has no control markers on the map. So basically, if you lose all your settlements, you lose. So Arcane study phase. So we'll go over to here. We completed our turn. This moves down. We're going to flip open the glyph. And during the Arcane study phase, you can either study spells, study blessings, or study treasures. So if we get a churn, you can only do 1 of these things. If we get a glyph, you can do all 3, but you can only max out the number of cards that you have. Like you can always only have 3 spells, 1 blessing per army, or 2 treasures. Right. So then we're going to take a look and see what the spell area is like. Okay, so we got a glyph. That means both players, even though this is the player's turn, both players can discard spells and refill up to their max. That'll go there. All right, so for Fjordland, they have a blessing that gives them more in the wilderness hex. They're going to discard this because there's not that much forest around. They'll discard this card and they'll draw a new blessing. You can always discard 1 card. They got Shield Wall, it's battle magic. Their garrison can gain a black dice. And then let's see, for the Oathborn, I think they're going to keep Mountain Folk. Blessing, they'll keep this. So they'll draw 2 more spells. They got Ritual of Speed, +2 for each unit in the caster's hex. That can come in handy. And Banished to Meiji. Eliminate a hero that just cast a spell. Spell being cast is not canceled. That's pretty good. All right. And now the Fjordland. So Fjordland is going to take their spring turn. So let's see. So first we do our income step. So they're going to get 4 gold. They have 1, so they'll have a total of 5 gold. And right now, we're in a little bit of trouble. So they can't build because these miners are here. So we're going to have to attack the miners. We could move these guys out and come down first. We probably want a hero so that we can do our magic. So let's start with that. Heroes Fjordland costs 2. So we'll spend 2 gold. They're going to get 3. We'll see what they get. Their hero is Carl. Carl does have magic. Let's see what Carl can do before we decide where we are going to place him. Carl Bonderson. He is the eldest of the Skalds, his songs recalling ancient victories. He's got a Song of Bravery. We can lock his card to gain 1 white dice. So on the hero's turn, if you want to, when he activates, you can turn this card sideways instead of tapping. It's called locked. If we do that, he'll get 1 white die. And he can only do that once until the end of the season. At the end of the season, they would refresh. All right, so gaining 1 white die. Let's see. I think we want to put him with. Let's see. He can move 4 spaces. I think if we put him back here with these guys and then have him go 1, 2, 3, they can try to attack. And then if they mess up, he can attack. Let's see. Yeah, because then he can just go straight to the settlement and try to get the settlement. Let's do that. So we'll put Carl with these guys. Is that the best idea, or should I put it with him? If these guys attack and don't, yeah, we'll put him with him. And then they're gonna move 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna have them attack this miner. So they're gonna get 2 white dice, but let's see if there's any spells they want to use. Hawkeye, can they use Hawkeye? Nope, they don't have arrows. Sigil of Courage. No. Ray of Weakness. No. All right, so we're going to tap Carl's card, let him lock to get an extra white dice. So 3 white dice for us. 1 white die for the miners. Let's see if the miners are going to defend. They got 1 success. This miner. Let's see what we get. We got 2 successes, so that'll do 1 damage to the miner. And he goes down to weaken, so you subtract that. That's 1 damage. That is not really what we wanted. So let's see. 3 money. Do I move and attack a monster? Let's see. These guys can move to only 2 spaces. Yes, but we'll have them move over here and they will attack this miner. So they're going to get a black and 2 whites. Miner gets 1. Let's see what the miner does. He does not defend. That is a crit. All right, so just 1 damage. That's enough to kill the miner. And when you kill a unit, you can decide if you want to move into their space or stay where you are. I think we are going to stay where we are. So that next turn we can get something going. All right, so there's no longer an enemy adjacent. So I have 3 gold. We could build something in there for 3. We could build King's Crossbowmen. I think let's do that. So we'll build King's Crossbowmen for 3. They get a black and a white die. They are ready. And we could have them march down here to just try to take this city. Or we could have them go attack a monster. Let's have them explore. So, oh, you know what? I can't. That's not King's Crossbowmen. I'm looking at the wrong guys. Hold on. Got 3 money. Let me. It's either a Sea Reaver I can buy or another, or I can't buy a Ranger. Yeah, Sea Reaver instead. So now our 3 money is gone. So we just spent our 3 money. We purchased the Sea Reaver. And they're going to go over here and they are going to explore the City of the Dead. Right, so when you go into a monster, you pull a monster token out. So there's a bunch of tokens over here to the side. I'm going to randomly grab one of these tokens. Put it there. While they're exploring, you flip it over and you see what it is. What is this? It is a white. And if we don't kill it, the bad guys can take control. So Oathborn will own this monster. It does have a magic symbol on it, which means it can cast spells. So we'll go into the battle magic phase. Let's see if we're going to do anything. Banish to Mage, no. Ritual of Speed, no. Ritual of Vigilance, no. Mountain Folk. Oh, wait, hold on. That's the wrong group. It's a little tricky since the cards are different. So we got Hawkeye, no. Sigil of Courage, no. Ray of Weakness. We might be able to use Ray of Weakness. We're within 2. So even though this target is activating, since Carl is within 2 of it, he can cast spells with a range of 2. We aren't going to cast any spells. Then we're going to go to the enemy's turn. So do they want to have the white cast anything? They're not going to do Banish to Magi. They're not going to do Ritual of Speed. Ritual of Vigilance, no. They're not going to do Mountain Folk, no. So they don't have any good spells to counter. So it looks like it's going to be a straight up roll. The white gets 2 dice. And the Sea Reavers get a black and 2 white. Right, let's see if the white defends anything. We got one hit. Let's see if the Sea Reavers can take out this abomination. They cannot. Wow. So they take a damage. That is their turn. And we are out of gold. So we are going to place a monster control marker on the white. So the Oathborn can only control 3 monsters at a time, but since it wasn't killed, it can attack stuff. And since it is a magical monster, it can attack creatures within 2 hexes. So monsters can do strikes, these 4, flying 3 hexes, magic 2 hexes, and other is adjacent. So that could be a problem. Okay, everybody has activated. That is going to conclude Fjordland's turn. We go to the season track. We move this down. We flip this over to see if it's churn or regular season. It is churn. So we can only pick one thing to refresh. So for Fjordland, they still got shields. They can still discard cards and get one. Blessings, Sigil of Courage, Ray of Weakness. I think they're gonna discard. They're gonna discard Hawkeye, just because that's pretty niche, and pull 1 spell card. So they're choosing spells to refresh. They got Spellbound, eliminate caster, draw to full strength to spell. So eliminate caster means whoever casts this spell is out of the game. They would be removed. All right, and then one thing for the Oathborn, they've got Banish to Magi, Ritual of Speed, Vigilance. I think they're keeping that. Mountain Folk. I think they're keeping all of their cards also. Right, so that will be the end of the season. So we would refresh everything. So we would flip these over. We'll shuffle these up. No locations were captured, so income still stays the same for both of them. Goes up, goes up. We'll put an Arcane Study down here, an Arcane Study down here. Year 1 moves to summer. And when it gets to winter, at the end of autumn, whoever has the most settlements wins. Remember, if the Oathborn has the lead, if it's tied, then they win. Then we would refresh these guys. And I'll have to check the turn. I'm not 100% sure. I think we're supposed to refresh at the end of my turn. See, do I see that anywhere on here? Electric Kingdom turn marker is moved. I don't see refresh. After Arcane Study phase. Work of Mind, command a monster, recover. Combat sequence. Yeah, I don't see it. I'd have to check. But either way, we're refreshing everybody now. I think everybody on the map is refreshed. And then that's where we will pick up next time. All right, so thanks for watching. Hope you liked our initial kickoff of our Burning Banners playthrough. Appreciate your time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. It really helps out the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the summer for part 2 of the battle of the invasion of Drefeld. Have a great day.